Yes, can you tell Archie Sahu? Speak up. Unmute your mic and quickly speak up. What are the different methods of membrane transport? We did or not?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
why you are not speaking up then, Archie? Not knowing, someone else will tell?
Ma'am, may I?
No, first let Archie tell. See, are you all noting in the notebook when we are doing any topic, children?
Yes, ma'am.
You all note down.
Yes, ma'am.
You all note down in the lecture notebook. Then you should be able to answer. Before the class begins, try to turn the pages of your notebook and try to see what we did in the previous period. Okay, because once in a week only we are meeting, and if you are not preparing the things done in the previous period, it will be very difficult for you to understand the next things. So, who is ready to answer?
Ma'am, may I?
Ma'am, may I?
Okay. Start now.
Ma'am, there are two methods,
Huh?
osmosis and diffusion.
Osmosis and diffusion. One more we discussed. What is that?
Cytosis.
Cytosis. Okay. What are the two different types of cytosis?
Endocytosis and exocytosis.
Very good. Okay. Now I am calling the name, only that person has to answer. Now I want Kinjal Sahu to tell that what is the difference between the diffusion and osmosis. Yes, Kinjal Sahu. Not there. Speak up fast. What is the difference between...
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
My question is, what is the difference between diffusion and osmosis? Can you say? If you can't say, to tell me. Otherwise, then so that other person can answer. Romisha is ready to answer?
Yes, ma'am.
So then start answering.
Ma'am, osmosis always occurs in living organisms, and
Okay,
diffusion mainly occurs in non-living organisms and mainly with minerals.
okay, not mainly in non-living. You can say that it occurs in both. What you have to say?
It occurs in both.
It occurs in the living system as well as in the non-living system. So, for example, in the living system, you know that the mineral transport goes on by the process of diffusion only, and the gaseous exchange also occurs by the process of diffusion. But the transport of the water takes place by which process?
Osmosis.
Osmosis.
Okay. Now, what are the factors on which the osmosis depends? Shrishti will tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Shrishti?
Yes, ma'am.
On
Ma'am,
what factors osmosis depends?
ma'am, it depends on the type of solution.
Yes.
Ma'am, if the
Huh?
solution is hypertonic solution,
Huh?
then then the water will move inside the cell from out. The water will move inside the cell from outside,
Huh? Very good.
and if the solution is hypertonic,
Yes.
then water will move outside the cell from inside.
Okay. So what are these two types of the osmosis called?
Endosmosis and exosmosis.
Okay. So when the cell is placed in the hypotonic solution, which osmosis
Tonic
will happen?
solution,
Huh? In hypotonic, what will happen? Endosmosis or
endosmosis.
endosmosis will happen. Okay. And when the cell is placed in the hypertonic solution, so it will be exosmosis.
Exosmosis.
Exosmosis. Okay. Now I want Pranav Prakash to answer that what are the three types of the solutions?
Ma'am, hypotonic, isotonic, and hypertonic.
Okay. On what basis we have classified the solution this way?
Ma'am, we have classified these three on on the basis of concentration. If the solution has equal concentration to the object which is or organism which is placed in the liquid, then it is called isotonic.
Okay, wait. Just clarify. We are comparing the solution concentration with what?
Ma'am, the cell or the organism which is inside that.
So in the cell, what thing?
Ma'am, the cells concentration, the cells osmotic, ma'am, the cells
So cells what? Which component of the cell? We have discussed the different parts of the cell.
ma'am, cytoplasm.
Very good. So you have to clarify that thing, that it is the concentration of the cytoplasm we are comparing with. Okay. Then continue.
Ma'am, and if the concentration of cytoplasm is lesser than the solution, then the solution will be called hypertonic. And if the solution has lesser concentration than the cytoplasm, then the solution will be called hypotonic.
Okay. So hypotonic, if the cell is placed in hypotonic solution, what will happen?
Ma'am, the cell will swell and all the water will pass through the membrane inside this cytoplasm.
Inside the cell. Okay, inside the cell, it will come into the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is clear to everyone, children?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now, Ansh Chaudhary will speak up that what is endocytosis? Hurry up. Do not waste your time because I will take up today the structure of the nucleus.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Acha, okay. Who will tell me now? Damini will tell. What is endocytosis? Yes.
Ma'am, in what's the question?
What is endocytosis? You'll be able to answer? You can say sorry if you don't know. Acha, Raghav will answer.
Ma'am, I don't know.
Raghav is also, it's not clear to Raghav also. Unnati is endocytosis. Okay, try. Okay.
Ma'am, when substances move from outside the cell to inside the cell, it is called endocytosis.
When substances move. Okay, can you clarify? Because in the osmosis also we are saying that it is moving. So what is the difference between an osmosis and an endocytosis?
Ma'am, in endocytosis, the cell membrane forms a vesicle around that substance and travels it through the cytoplasm in the cell and then returns it back to the cell membrane.
Okay, you mean to say that the membrane itself is invaginating. So remember, children, once again try to understand that this is based. Can Pranav Prakash tell that endocytosis, exocytosis is based on what property of the plasma membrane? It is based on which property of the plasma membrane? Okay, Pushkar is ready to answer. Anyone else?
Yes, ma'am.
Say.
It is based on the flexibility of the plasma membrane.
Correct. Okay. Pushkar, so is it correct? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, the cell membrane is flexible. Okay. And what can you say one sentence in which you can explain the cell membrane structure? Harish will tell.
It has a fluid-like structure. It has a fluid-like structure.
Fluid-like structure. I want one sentence which explains the whole thing.
Trilaminar and lipoproteinaceous.
Correct. Okay. That you all should remember that cell membrane is trilaminar and lipoproteinaceous. What does it mean now? I want Safia to tell. What does the statement tell us?
Ma'am,
Huh? What is this statement meaning? Not saying anyone?
Ma'am, it has three
Anyone?
layers.
Yes.
The cell has three layers and it is composed of lipids and proteins.
It is composed of lipids and proteins. Okay. So remember, endocytosis is based on the flexibility only, where you find the substances as it comes near the cell membrane. The cell membrane makes a cup-shaped structure. And that substance will go into the cup-shaped structure, and you will find that the cell membrane will encircle it, and you will find the food vacuole will be formed. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is exocytosis? That is removal. Okay, removal of the substances which are not needed inside the cell, it will be known as exocytosis. So where you will find that the residual body, we call food vacuole will be that in which you find the food is there. But the after the digestion, the leftover substances which is not absorbed by the cell cytoplasm has to be removed out. And you find that for the removal, that substance will be encircled, or it will be forming a residual body. Okay, and that residual body will reach near the cell membrane and it will burst. So when it will burst, it will release all the residue which is present inside it, and that way the exocytosis will take place. Is it clear this much? Shall we start with the nucleus, children? Any doubt in this membrane transport?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, what is endocytosis and exocytosis?
Acha, I should clarify that. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
just 1 minute. Children, try to see this figure. Just now what I have drawn. This is your plasma membrane. Can you see the figure on this board?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
you
ma'am.
this is the plasma membrane. Now, when any food particle comes near to you, find a cell membrane, it will make a cup-like structure. And that food particle, this is a food particle. Food particle will come into that cup-shaped structure, and then ultimately what will happen? This membrane will constrict, and this whole thing will be the food particle will be encircled by the cell membrane, and you will find the food vacuole will be formed, and this food vacuole then comes inside the cell cytoplasm. So this is endocytosis. Is it clear? I'll send
Yes,
you one.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you can draw it. So this is the process of endocytosis. And what will happen in the exocytosis? In exocytosis, you will find that the residue or the leftover substance has to be removed out. So you will find that what will happen now? Now you will find This way, you will find the cell membrane, the residual body has reached the cell membrane, because now whatever content is there, that has to be removed out, and then it will burst. Once it reaches the cell membrane, it will burst, and after bursting you find that that process only we call it as exocytosis. What it will be called?
Exocytosis.
Exocytosis.
Understood, everyone?
Yes,
Okay, so I'll be sending the
Yes, ma'am.
you can draw it. So we have completed with the membrane transport. Now I'll start with the structure of the nucleus. You all can put today's date and write down. I'm sharing my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So write down nucleus. Screen is visible to all?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you start writing nucleus. First, see what all you have to understand, that what is the location of the nucleus, then how many nuclei you find inside the cell, and what is the electron microscopic structure of the nucleus. We will be discussing all this today. Okay, so now first write down the location of the nucleus. So nucleus is generally present in the center of the cell. Everyone note down that the nucleus is generally present in the center of the cell. In the plant cell, you have seen that where is the nucleus present?
Somewhere sideways.
Ma'am, on the side.
Side.
Yes, it is present at the side. Okay, why is it present at the side?
Because of the central vacuole.
Because of the vacuole. Okay, large vacuole is there and that pushes the nucleus to one corner. Very good. Okay, but in most of the other cells, you will find that nucleus will be present in the center. Now, next, write down the number. So, how many nuclei you will find in a cell? Generally,
And one.
one nucleus is present in each cell, and that only carries the genetic information of the cell. Okay, but in some of the cells, you will find that more than one nuclei may be present. If two nuclei present, so you call it as dikaryotic cell. What you call it? Dikaryotic. Okay, and if more than two, so we call it multinucleated cell. In some fungi, we find that the multinucleated condition is present. Now, if the animal cell is multinucleated, we use the word cenocytic.
Ma'am, can you write it down, please?
Okay. You can write just now. I'm saying COENOCYTIC, cenocytic. And syncytial, SYNCYTIAL. So two terms you have to remember, syncytial and cenocytic. If the plant cell is having many nuclei, we'll call it as cenocytic. And if animal cell has many nuclei, we call it as Syncytial. 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 Okay, so now I'm starting this video. Try to see, and then we'll start with the structure. So I'll be asking the questions. Listen carefully.
Nucleus. The nucleus is the most significant component of the cell. Not only does it contain the genetic material, including chromosomes consisting of DNA molecules, but it also controls the cell's various metabolic activities. Scottish botanist Robert Brown first used the term cell nucleus in 1831 and is most often credited with the discovery of the nucleus. A nucleus is found in all eukaryotic cells. Those without a nucleus, such as red blood cells, are referred to as enucleate. Prokaryotic cells do not have.
Sorry. It stopped.
Ma'am, you have to log in again.
Acha, timed out, na? Okay. So who was the first person to study the nucleus?
Robert
Robert Brown.
Robert Brown.
Robert Brown. Okay. And what is the cell called if it does not have the nucleus, children?
Enucleated.
Enucleated. It is known as enucleated. Yeah.
Nucleus. The nucleus is the most significant component of the cell. Not only does it contain the genetic material, including chromosomes consisting of DNA molecules, but it also controls the cell's various metabolic activities. Scottish botanist Robert Brown first used the term cell nucleus in 1831 and is most often credited with the discovery of the nucleus. A nucleus is found in all eukaryotic cells. Those without a nucleus, such as red blood cells, are referred to as enucleate. Prokaryotic cells do not have a true nucleus. Their genetic material flows within the cytoplasm. The nucleus is the largest organelle in a cell, measuring about 5 to 25 microns in diameter. It is enclosed in a nuclear membrane, which simply works as a barrier to separate the cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. The key components of the nucleus are a nuclear membrane, the nucleoplasm, the chromatin fibers, and a nucleolus. The nuclear membrane, sometimes referred to as the nuclear envelope, separates the nucleus and its contents from the rest of the cell. The membrane is a double-layered structure composed of lipids. These layers are dotted with several openings known as nuclear pores, which allow back and forth movement of molecules between the nucleus and the cytoplasm. mRNA, tRNA, and nucleotides required for protein synthesis reach the cytoplasm through the nuclear pores. The nucleus has a fluid-like substance known as nucleoplasm, sometimes referred to as nucleus sac or karyolim. The nucleoplasm contains several thread-like structures, either coiled or elongated, known as chromatin fibers. These fibers contain DNA and are visible during the interphase, the stage between cell divisions, characterized by growth of the cell. During cell division, chromatin fibers become thick chromosomes. Within the nucleoplasm, there is a spherical granule known as the nucleolus. Its main function is the biogenesis of ribosomes. Summary: the nucleus is the most important cell organelle in eukaryotic cells. It controls cell processes. It has a double-layered nuclear membrane marked by several pores. The nucleoplasm contains chromatin fibers and a nucleolus. The chromatin fibers become chromosomes during the cell divisions. The nucleolus synthesizes ribosomes.
So how many students have understood what you have seen just now in the video? Now, I want someone to answer that what are the structural components of the nucleus? Number 1.
Nuclear membrane.
Nuclear membrane. Okay. Number 2.
Chromosomes.
No, we try to move
Nucleoplasm.
nucleoplasm. Yeah. Now try to take up the structure from outside to inside one by one. So you find that nucleus is bounded by the 2-unit membrane. The cell membrane, what we have studied the structure, children, the same structural membrane, that is the same type of the membrane or membrane which is having the same structure, is enveloping or is covering all the different cell organelles. So the nucleus is also bounded by 2-unit membrane. So that membrane structure which we have studied, we call it as unit membrane. So 2-unit membrane, and there is a space between 2-unit membrane, and now you have seen in the figure very clearly that this nuclear membrane is not complete. It is having fine pores, and these pores are known as, can anyone tell what are these pores called? Yes, pick up. What are these pores in the nuclear membrane called?
Nuclear pores.
Nuclear pores. Very good. Okay, so keep writing these things, children. Whatever we are discussing, you write down structure in your notebook, that is your subheading structure, and write down components of the nucleus. So number 1, nuclear membrane. Okay, and nuclear membrane, it is made up of 2-unit membranes, which are lipoproteinaceous and trilaminar. Same structure you will say, which is trilaminar and lipoproteinaceous. The nuclear membrane has got fine pores called nuclear pores, which help in transportation, in transport of the substances from inside to outside the cell and vice versa. Is it clear to everyone this much? Now, what are the substances which are transported through these nuclear pores? Can anyone tell?
Ma'am, nutrients.
Okay, nutrients, fine. Then what else? Can you specify the things? It was shown in the paper. Very good. RNA.
Ma'am,
Which RNA? Can you tell me? You have seen just now. What are the two types of the RNA they were showing?
Ma'am,
iRNA and
mRNA,
mRNA.
tRNA.
tRNA. Very good. Okay. So you have to listen and see this video very carefully, children. Okay. So you find that the RNA, it is a ribonucleic acid that is synthesized inside the nucleus on the DNA. Okay, so we will discuss once again DNA, and you find the information which is coded in the DNA molecule. It will be taken out of the nucleus through the mRNA. So mRNA will take the information which is coded in the DNA out of the nucleus. Is it very clear, children, this much?
yes, ma'am.
So the formation of the RNA will be inside the nucleus. The RNA synthesis will occur inside the nucleus, but it is needed outside. So it will be passing out of the nucleoplasm through the nuclear pores. And the nucleotides which form the mRNA, which are needed for the mRNA formation, the transport will be going on through the nuclear membrane only. Okay, then which is the next components? All have understood. Now, functions of the nuclear membrane, remember, it is protective in function. It gives a shape to the nucleus. It helps in the transport of the substances between the nucleoplasm and the cytoplasm. The transport of the substances between the nucleoplasm and the cytoplasm goes on through the nuclear membrane, and that is through which structures? Which structures present in the nuclear membrane?
Nuclear pores.
Nuclear pores, very good. So how many students have understood this much? Shall we move ahead to the second component?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Now,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
very good. So try to listen carefully. Anuneet will speak now. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Anuneet? Okay, tell me that what is the role of the nuclear pores and where are they present? You were listening what I was explaining, Anuneet?
Yes, ma'am.
So say quickly that where are the nuclear pores present and what is their role? Kinjal Sahu.
Ma'am,
Huh?
can you repeat the question?
See, this should not happen. You have to be very careful. Okay, in the class, all have to listen the question very carefully. My question is, where are nuclear pores present and what is their role?
Ma'am, the role of nuclear pores are to transport substances,
Huh?
and
Where
they are
is
present on the nuclear membrane.
present on the nuclear membrane? Okay, very good. But transportation from where to where? Where the exchange of materials will take place? Between which
Ma'am,
two things?
from outside from outside the cell to inside the nucleus, and
Okay, what is present outside the nucleus and inside the nucleus?
ma'am,
What is
I don't
present?
know.
Anyone who can clarify this? Just now I said the transport will go on between which two things?
Nucleoplasm and cytoplasm.
Excellent. Very good. Very Very good. Remember, children, because inside the nucleus, nucleoplasm is there, and outside the nucleus, cytoplasm is there. Okay, तो उन दोनों के बीच में transport will be going on through the nuclear pores. Okay, so now shall we take up the next component of the nucleus? Yes, children. Okay, so what is the second component inside the nuclear membrane? What is the fluid filled core?
Nucleoplasm.
Nucleoplasm. Okay, so now you can write down in your notebook nucleoplasm. So it is the homogeneous fluid. It is the homogeneous fluid present inside the nucleus and contains the nucleotides, nucleosides, chromatin threads, and nucleolus. Chromatin threads and nucleolus.
Ma'am, could you repeat?
Chromatin threads and nucleolus. Done, everyone? So, chromatin threads, remember, they are the threads which are made up of DNA. So, you can write down chromatin threads made up of DNA. What is the full form of DNA? Can anyone tell?
Deoxyribonucleic acid.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. Very good. Okay, so it is the genetic material in which all the genetic information is coded. All genetic information is coded. So now, today we have completed with this. Now, what is the function of the nucleolus? Can anyone tell? And what is nucleolus?
Ma'am, the function of the nucleolus is to synthesize ribosomes.
Very good. Okay. So it is a small oval or spherical structure present in the nucleoplasm, and its function is to synthesize ribosomes. Synthesize ribosomes. Which help in what process? Ribosomes help in what?
Protein synthesis.
Protein synthesis. Very good. So you can add up which helps in, or which are the sites of protein synthesis. So children, this way we have completed with the nuclear structure. The detailed structure of the chromosome I'll take up next period. So you can write down the question. My question will be question number 1. Write the location of the nucleus. Write the location of the nucleus and name its structural components. And name its structural components. Is the question clear to everyone?
Yes,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Shall I repeat?
Yes, ma'am.
Write the location of nucleus and name the structural components of it. Name the structural components of it. Then next question you write down. Describe the structure of nucleus with diagram. Describe the structure of nucleus with diagram. And last question, write the functions of nucleus. Write the functions of nucleus. So I'm stopping the sharing now.
Ma'am,
Yes.
last time you didn't give the questions.
Achha, last time the questions were not given. Okay,
ma'am.
so you can write down how much time it is. It is already 2:16. So I'll send it then. Okay, the questions related to the membrane transport I'll be sending. Okay, so we'll end up our class. If you have any doubt, you can ask me just now. Otherwise, we'll do Shanti part. Any doubt, children?
Ma'am, chromatin threads are made up of
DNA. Yeah, chromatin threads are made up of DNA.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, and DNA is DNA structure and the chromatin role and the structure of chromosome we will be discussing next period. Okay, so you will understand it better.
Yes, ma'am.